Hey guys, Miss Cologne here. I'm going to show you how we're going to answer questions 1, 2, and 3 from the lesson we just learned today, which is on percent of increase and decrease using tape diagrams. For number 1, for each diagram, decide if y is either an increase or decrease relative to x. Then determine that percent increase or decrease. So we're going to find a value once we determine if it's an increase or decrease. So your old value, we should say, is going to be an x. So what they're saying is originally this is x, meaning you start at 100%. You should always start at 100%. So I know, well, if there's 4 boxes, that means these 4 boxes has to be at least 25% each. And how do I know that? Well, take 100% and divide by these 4 boxes. You get 25%. Now, because the y value only covers these 3 boxes, not all 4, that means there's a decrease. So this one is a decrease. Okay. Well, if it's a decrease, what's the percent we dropped? So if I went from 100 and I dropped 25% of that piece, meaning I don't need this piece, well, that's 25, 25, 25. That's 75% total for here, meaning it is a 25% decrease. That means I went down 25%. I lost this piece. Now, when I look at this one, again, x, all 4 of these boxes represent x, but you have to start at 100. And again, you're telling me each box is 25% then. Again, how do I get 25? I take 100%, divide by the number of blocks I see, which is 4. And that's how I get 25. Now that means this is an additional box to the 100%. So let's say this is also 25%. So from x to y, there is an increase, which means if I add all these up, the total y value is 125%. Meaning this is a 25% increase. That's how you read parts A and B. This is going to help us do the next problem. So let's look at number 2. We're going to draw our diagrams that follow the scenario. So I'm going to draw 2 diagrams. One represents 100%. The one below is going to represent the new box that represents the scenario. The amount of flour that the bakery used this month was a 40% increase relative to last month. So we're going to imagine this was last month. Okay. This whole thing is 100%. Gotcha. But the amount of flour was a 40% increase. So this month, which is the new month, we need to do something with this 100%. Increase means I'm going to go up. So I'm going to add a measly 40% to this piece, which makes 140% increase. I just want you to understand that part. All right. The amount of milk that the bakery used this month was a 75% decrease related to last month. So, okay, last month, you still have to start somewhere at 100%. So this whole thing is 100%. Okay. But if I have a decrease, I have to get rid of most of this. So for the current month, I need to take 75% less off. Now, 100 minus 75, I wanted you to see. Okay? That means I took 75% off, so the result is 25%. Okay. Last problem. Write each percent increase or decrease as a percentage of the initial amount. They gave us an example so we can do B, C, and D. So this year there was 40% more snow than last year. Meaning the amount of snow this year is 140% of the amount. Now, the reason how they got 140 is because when we're talking about 40% more, you're always going to add or subtract by 100. You always have to start with 100. So because it's an increase, we're adding 40%, which is how they got 140%. So we're going to do the same thing for B, C, and D. Okay. This year, there were 25% fewer sunny days than last year. Well, I need to start at 100%. Fewer means I'm decreasing, so I'm going to subtract 25% from 100. And it should be 75% sunny days this year. Okay. Compared to last month, there was a 50% increase in the number of houses sold this month. So again, if I have an increase based on your notes, that means I'm adding the percent to 100. So I'm going to take 100 and add 50% to it. And you should get 150% number of houses this month. Okay? And last but not least, the runner's time to complete this marathon was 10% less than the time to complete the last marathon. So again, so you had to start at 100. Less than means I'm taking 10% away from 100. Well, 100 minus 10 gives me 90%. So I'm talking about 90% of the runner's time. And let's say for this marathon. Now, the next video I will do, we're going to find how do we find the percent increase or decrease. Rather than them telling me what they are, we're going to find it using proportions in the next video. Take care, guys.